Namaskar, I am Assistant Professor Kritika Dev from LG School of Law. Today we'll be studying Indian Penal Code, and again, I find all the topics interesting, so I generally say that another interesting topic because according to me every topic is interesting. So today we'll be dealing with assault, which is mentioned under section 351 of the Indian Penal Code. So let's quickly see what the section says. So here is the definition of assault. Section 351. Let's quickly have a look at it, what it says. And of course, we'll see the ingredients in detail after reading the definition. Now let's see what the definition says. Whoever makes any gesture or any preparation intending or knowing it to be likely that such gesture or preparation will cause any person present to apprehend that he who makes that gesture or preparation is about to use criminal force to that person is said to commit an assault. So here, okay, before going to the ingredients, let's read the explanation as well. Now, what the explanation says, mere words do not amount to an assault, but the words which a person uses may give to his gestures or preparation such a meaning as may make those gestures or preparation amount to an assault. So, when it comes to this explanation, I've just read that explanation to you. But before going to the explanation, let's see the ingredients of the section. What are the ingredients of the section? Let's have a look. Okay, so let's list all the. Okay, we have all the ingredients in front of us. So the first one is makes gesture or preparation, right? So you must be having that in mind, what we read in the explanation, that mere words, right? So here you cannot see anything like words. So mere words does not amount to assault. Makes a gesture. A gesture has to be there, right? I am just standing and I'm just saying, I'll kill you, does not amount to anything. Me standing here without having nothing in my hand, my hands being folded like this, and I'm just trying to scare you by saying, I'll kill you. Will you be scared? No, it will not amount to. Of course, when you're in front of me, I need to have a gesture. Now, let's take an example. What if I have a knife in my hand and I tell you, I'll kill you? Of course, it's gonna put a thing in your head that I may do that, right? So, gesture or preparation, gesture or preparation. So by preparation, let's take an example. I have a gun here on my table, okay, and I just you must have seen in the movies also, some goons, or the underworld, they keep the guns with them and they do not do anything, they just start cleaning the gun and just start interrogating anybody whom they want to. So that very preparation, or that very, or maybe they are just filling bullets in the gun, so that is a preparation. So that preparation will of course will cause an apprehension in the mind of that other person that you may use criminal force, right? So let's quickly go to the let's cover the other elements as well, so that you'll have a complete and clear idea. The second one is intention or knowledge. Of course, you have the intention. When I'm cleaning my gun, I have the intention, like, just to scare somebody. Sometimes you do not want to actually show your power, you just show it through certain gestures. So maybe you had the intention, or you had the knowledge. Of course, a simple layman coming and standing in front of you, and suddenly you start cleaning any of your weapon, then of course that person will have that thing in his mind that you may use criminal force in presence of the person. So in this section, it is very important that the person is physically present in front of you, right? When it comes to phone and anything else that is not been covered under this section, under this section, that person has to be in front of you, physically present, right? And that thing must give an apprehension. As I said, if I'm not holding anything in my hand and I suddenly say I'll kill you, that person might not, there will be no fear, of course, because nothing will come out of my hand. There is nothing. So, of course, there has to be something to got that apprehension in the mind of that person that I may use criminal force. right? And the fifth element is by default being covered in all the ingredients as we were discussing, that I am about to use criminal force. So you can see here that gesture with that intention towards that person who is standing in front of me, causing an apprehension that I might use criminal force, is what we call assault under section 351. So when these five elements are there, then it amounts to assault. Now let's quickly see the case law. Now what happened under Matthew versus State of Kerala? As I was quoting those examples, you'll be able to relate with it. So as I said, mere words, and as we have seen in the explanation also, mere words do not amount to assault. They have to be accompanied by a gesture. Only then the other person will get the apprehension that you're about to use criminal force. Correct? Now, what happened under this case, or in this case, there was a man, and you can say accused because he was held liable under this section. Now, what happened? He had a sharp-edged weapon in his hand. Right? It was sharp, so he just went to that person and he asked the person that you come out. You come out because I will not go or I will not leave without killing you. So here is what he had the intention. Of course, when somebody is saying, I'll kill you, you come out, he of course had the intention to do something. Or the knowledge at least that if I'll say something like this by holding some weapon in my hand, of course it will the other person will get the apprehension that you may use criminal force, right? You might not murder him, but you might use criminal force, you might do something. So here, of course, the first element, there was a gesture. He was like, you come out. And the intention and knowledge both, of course, in this case. And that other party, the third element, he was physically present because of course he was in front of him. And the other person, of course, any prudent man will get that apprehension that, person standing with a sharp edged weapon may use criminal force. So by seeing all these elements, the court held him liable under this very section. And he said, the court held that yes, the accused used accused used or accused is liable under section 351, that is assault. Now you must be figuring out or trying to figure out, now what is the difference between criminal force and assault, right? So can you just find it out what this picture says or trying to say or trying to convey it to you? Just think for 2 seconds because I cannot give you more. Okay, so let me tell it to you. I hope many of you must have figured out. In the first picture, you can see a different gesture, and in the second one, a different act. So here it is the distinction between assault and criminal force. Now, what is happening in the first one? In the first one, that person is just trying to hit. That is a gesture causing the apprehension in the mind of the lady that he may slap me. And of course, when somebody is, trying to slap us, trying to make a gesture, of course, at places when we all were kids or even now, when parents make a gesture like this, we suddenly just move our head because we know that they might use criminal force. We might get a slap. So there we have the apprehension, we are present physically, they have the intention or knowledge that yes, this will cause an apprehension in our mind that criminal force is about to be used. Correct? So here, as you can see, the girl is under the apprehension that the man may use criminal force, right? May use criminal force. He has not used it. But in the second picture, you can clearly see that the other person actually hit the other guy. No apprehension, nothing. Just took that bat and hit that guy hard on the head, right? Or maybe hard or just a boom hard, whatever it is. So, in the second picture, the force is actually used. But when it comes to the first picture, it was just an apprehension. The criminal force will be used, right? So that is the difference. Assault is just an apprehension by all those elements that criminal force will be used or may be used. But coming to criminal force, it's done. Criminal force is used. So that you can see in the picture. Now let's uh, see like the sections in which the aggravated forms or assault in different kind of cases, how these sections have been written. Section 353 talks about assault or criminal force to deter public servant from discharging of his duty. When somebody uses assault or criminal force in order to stop a public servant from discharging his duty. Section 354, assault or criminal force to women with intent to outrage her modesty, right? So outraging the modesty, that will see in the coming lectures. You will see the whole lecture on outraging the modesty of a woman. Section 354A says sexual harassment and punishment for sexual harassment. Section 354B says assault or use of criminal force to women with intent to disrobe, right? So we have dealt with all these points in detail in the whole lecture. 354 voyeurism, 354D stalking, and 355 assault or criminal force with intent to dishonor person otherwise than on grave provocation, right? On grave and sudden provocation, we had seen in the previous lecture of criminal force that when there is sudden provocation or provocation is being given by the other person and then you have used criminal force, then that's all right, you will not be charged under that section. But other than that, if you use criminal force in order to dishonor a person, then the section is there. Section 356, assault or criminal force in attempt to commit theft of property carried by a person, very simple to understand. Section 357, assault or criminal force in attempt wrongfully to confine a person. Now, if you for confinement also, wrongful restraint or wrongful confinement, we have a whole together different lecture, so you'll understand what wrongful confinement is. So let's not take this very thing in detail here, otherwise the same time will be consumed for this very topic. Section 358, assault or criminal force on grave provocation. So these are the sections which are relevant and which are, the aggravated forms, you can say, or the different cases in which assault and criminal force have been used. So these are the section. So here, I guess, again, as I always think that the students who are watching this video, I am able to make you understand what the topic says. So I always have that positive feeling that every concept I'm trying to make everything clear to you in the best way possible. So I hope here also in this topic everything is clear. And again, I would like to say let's end the session and keep studying, keep revising, and be good students, be good kids, and thank you so much.